game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity, that place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Bucs fans were there too. The
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell is everybody? We're officially in the heart of the holiday season. We're officially in the heart of playoff football territory. We're officially live on the Buccateers Buck What You Heard Hump Day cross streaming with the great G and J-Lo and myself, Tampa Tones. We'll be joined by Joey Nips eventually as well. We got so much football to talk to, specifically Bucs ball, but so much more on our hands as well. Gene, how the hell you doing? How are you after that thrilling overtime victory this past Sunday, brother?
Man, what a great time to be a Bucs fan. I'm here to tell you, brother. These are games right now, and fans need to appreciate this because in years past, these are games the Bucs don't win. They just, they're pretty much a pick six in fourth quarter or something like that. The game's over. But we've got an actual quarterback here who's fighting tooth and nail as much as he can, and I'm here for it. I'm loving this season. Ups and downs, I'm here for it.
Gene, I think you make a great point, a key point there. This is a type game that the Bucs don't pull out back in the day. As our guy Marco Cass joins us, although he's over enemy lines, he's on enemy sides by Carolina fandom. He's a cool guy. He hangs with the show often. So we love you, Marcos. That was a really fun game on Sunday. You guys gave us a run for our money. But, Gene, as you're saying, as Christopher Cole saying, a win is a win. And this is a very hot Carolina football team that people have overlooked the past month. I mean, they beat the Saints and they beat the Giants back-to-back. Then they took the Chiefs to overtime. The Chiefs have one loss, and their loss, wasn't a very big one. So this is a team that looked very good the past month. The Bucs went in there, and the Bucs pulled out a close one. And the Bucs were due to win a close game because if you look at all their losses this year, San Fran, brutally close loss. Both Atlanta games, brutally close losses. The only game we really – Baltimore, kind of distant, but not a blowout. The only game we really got blown out was the Denver Broncos game. Usually in football, for playoff teams at least, these type of close games even out over the course of the season. We haven't seen any wins come this way yet for Tampa this year. So this is a very good sign. As Gene said, you didn't see this with old Bucs teams. That's what separates losing teams from winning teams. Losing teams lose these types of games. Playoff teams win these types of games. And the Buccaneers right now, to me, are pulling a sequel of last season. J-Lo, how the hell are you enjoying yourself, brother?
Good, man. Glad we got the win. I mean, I was kind of punching the air for a minute. We're about to drop the game to the Panthers, man. I mean, you got to give Dave Canales and Panthers some credit. They fought toward the end against us. Definitely picked us apart on their offense or our defense, and just glad that we finally came at the end of the win on this one and finally won a coin flip in overtime, which we haven't done this year. But you got to give it up. Like Gene said, we're usually the losing end of it, but I think we finally overcame that and finally got a hard-fought win. And, on to the next one.
Giovanni's joining, saying happy victory, woo ye. Before we get into it a little bit more, Gene, it's your segment's time. Your high life highlights from Sunday, brother. What would you say separated itself amongst the rest?
Bucky Irving. The Bucs have been struggling with the run game for goodness who knows how long. Going back to Doug Martin. I think Doug Martin was the last solid running back that the Bucs had that was consistent. We've had different running backs come in, running back by committee, Ronald Jones experiment. We've had different running backs, but it just looks like, Bucky Irving hits different. And couple him with Rachaad White, who, by the way, quietly amassed 76 yards rushing. That doesn't get, that's the part that doesn't get talked about. So I know there's been a lot of Rachaad White slander, and I'm not here for it. But I'll just say that he does his part. He contributes where he should. I'm just a little bit disappointed they didn't use him more in space, with the pass. But again, what you go with what's working, and Bucky Irving was what's working.
Yeah, and Gene, it's funny you say that because when we were watching the game over Sunday, and obviously Bucky was doing his thing, so my pops was like, keep Bucky in, and I'm like, let Rachaad get a couple carries. He's bound to break out and pull through. Next thing you know, Rashaad's running for the hills in overtime and sets us up for a chip shot off the heels of Rachaad White. So I get it why a lot of fans just want Bucky, Bucky, Bucky. But at the end of the day, we really have to take advantage of having a deep backfield. We really have to take advantage of each different running back. To me, 3 running backs. We'll get into that, though. And we really have to take advantage of all of their skill sets. J-Lo, 60 seconds or less, your highlights from Sunday's game.
I'm going to say Mike Evans, man. He was really Mr. Countable.
He won me a lot of money, by the way. Shout out to Bet Rivers. They gave me a $190 free bet. I put it on Mike Evans to score a touchdown, and voila.
How about that one-handed catch in the end zone?
Oh, my God.
I mean, like that just got me excited,
Odell who?
Fan. Who? Exactly.
Odell who?
It is sock day. Speaking of excitement, it is sock day, so
No, but at the end of the day, I mean, Mike is looking like he's getting back to his form. I'm really glad that he got over 100 yards receiving. I think he's definitely got a good shot to get that 1,000 yards this year. If he keeps playing at the level he's playing at.
Yeah, Marcos says I think the Bucs are about to win the South. Christopher says Canales knows what Bowles is doing because on that one-handed catch by Thielen, he saw something called a timeout before the play. Raiders, says my opinion.
The Raiders.
It might be a long Sunday for the Raiders. We're going to get into that game here shortly. I knew Bucky was going to run all over the Panthers. Kind of reminds me of a Kamara-type running back. Mr. Gene, I want to ask you this. Bucs saved the season late in overtime. Every game feels like a playoff game. Again, this is like a sequel to last year to me. It's all playoff type feels. Do you think the Bucs can pull it off Sunday and win 3 in a row? And really, I know the Raiders have quote unquote been down lately, but them too. They just played the Chiefs down to the wire last Friday, so this ain't going to be a look over.
I think this may be a letdown game for the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders got up. They always get up for the Chiefs because they're the big dog, and they're again. We're gonna see how it goes, but I think the Bucs have a really good opportunity to keep everything going, keep everything in front of them, keep it all going. The one thing we have to keep in mind too is Tampa is in control of their own destiny. They just need to keep winning these games. They just need to go out and execute. Only look at this game and don't look past this game. Make sure they go in and do their job. And we were not even talking about the games in the future. We're talking about the Raiders right now. And this is definitely a winnable game.
Yeah, and you're right, Gene. We're talking about right now. This is right now. This is what we're talking about. This is when the focus really zeroes in. Every game matters just as equally, just as important as the next. We're not looking forward to anything. Raiders are on our radar, no pun intended. And that's how it's going to be. J-Lo, 3 in a row. Me and you will be at the game this Sunday together, my friend. Very much so looking forward to that, as it'll feel like a playoff game in Ray J. Thoughts on if the Bucs can get to 3 in a row or not?
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can't overlook the Raiders, because they do got some talented players. They just have bad luck right now in their games like the Panthers did. But I do think it's a very winnable game. I think Baker hopefully won't make dummy decisions with the interceptions. You got to work on that. You can't turn the ball over. I think giving Bucky the ball more, give Rachaad White some pass plays that Gene mentioned earlier. And plus, let's get Sean Tucker some carries too. I mean, to me, I feel like
And we're going to
strongest
talk
hitter-
about him coming up here
Yeah.
shortly, Mr. Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
So we'll save that. We got Lucky Lucy in the house, El Gato in the house, Ricardo Gutierrez. It is a loaded chat in here, everybody. Christopher Cole says we can't just stay healthy in the secondary. Yeah, we've been bringing guys back like Ryan Neal and Kavion Merriweather and all the defensive shenanigans, which we'll get into. But let's talk about running backs. Bucky Irving, NFC Player of the Week, and the mystery of Sean Tucker and his usage. Gene, start us off with, man, a 4th-round pick, NFC Player of the Week, Bucky Irving? Are you kidding me? We never see this out of Bucs running backs since Cadillac Williams.
Exactly. I'm happy. I mean, like I said, I'm here for it. And he's the hot hand. You got to ride with the hot hand. And you know what doesn't get talked about enough are his hands. He's got a nice catch motion, and he gets it upfield. He's another guy that you can use where with me when you hear me talk about speed and space. There's another guy. If you can get him in the open, hey, good luck. Good luck bringing him down. Somebody, I like the running back room that we have. I just wish that we could utilize all of it.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll get into Sean Tucker's thing next. J-Lo, thoughts on Bucky Irving and him winning NFC Player of the Week? I mean, as Gene alluded to, we still have more of the bone to chew in terms of the running back room, but the surface that we're chewing on right now is tasting pretty good.
Oh, yes, it is. I mean, Bucky Irving to me, I feel like I'm watching Warrick Dunn all over again. Back in the early 2000s, watching Warrick Dunn carry the ball. The man makes people miss, breaks tackles. The man, he's just a tough SOB, man. He even had that hip injury walking in the locker room. And already this week, today, he was saying he's ready to go. He can't wait for the Raiders game coming up. So that, to me, that's just an overall, great back we drafted, a hidden gem. Hats off to Jason Light on that pick.
So we're live here on the Buccateers Buck What You Heard Cross Hump Day show. Sock Day as well, December 4th. We're nearing the holidays. We're going to talk about our Christmas and holiday giveaways here in a bit, so you guys will never want to miss a show when we do that. But we do have an important issue at hand that my great friend Mr. Gene wanted to chat about, and I think it's an important one. Not enough people are talking about it. The interesting up and down usage about Sean Tucker. Marco says Jonathan Brooks gets settled in. He's coming off a big injury as a rookie. He'll be just fine settled in a couple weeks. But somebody who's not settled in right now is Sean Tucker. And some people could blame it on him. Some people could blame it on the team. But, Gene, to me, I think they were literally getting him involved in the fold here a little bit. And then I think that Giants game last week, although not all his fault, and to me, you can't completely write him off for it, but between his fumble, just losing the football dang near, and then at the goal or on the kick return, he kind of made the boneheaded play as well. So, Gene, I don't know if that's your thoughts as well, but to me, maybe that's why we didn't see Sean Tucker this week. But still, we got to amplify his volume. You're going to see more mistakes out of a guy who's not playing a lot, right? If he was getting more in a rhythm like he was against New Orleans, you're probably going to see a little bit smoother play.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what your goal is in the fourth, if you have the lead, you want to punish that defensive line. You got 3 running backs. Bucky's your workhorse. And Rashad is more of your finesse guy, but he can make big runs as well. And then you got to hammer in Sean Tucker. And yeah, he had a fumble, but you got to get him reps. You got to get him warmed up and get him going, you got that big Cadillac Coupe de Ville out there. You got to go and turn the car on and get the heater going, get it all warmed up before you start rolling with it. But in his case, I just feel like they really need to just kind of get him involved somehow. There were a couple of plays I saw not last week but week before where they had the running back out in the slot. And so, just different plays like that, just different looks. I really would like to see them get him more involved. And I think that would just help them, especially with clock management in the fourth quarter if you've got a lead.
And you're right, Gene. I know it's college football, so a little different, but, those run-heavy teams such as the Air Force, what do they do when they have the lead in the fourth? They run it 99% of the time, grind the clock, get those tough yards, use all their damn running back, keep them fresh, wear out the defense, and it oftentimes leads them to victory when they have the lead. Olivia joins us. Hey, everyone. Hey, Olive. Thank you for joining us.
I still don't like Green Bay, though.
Hey, I'm with you, brother. I am with you there. I want to talk about this too after we get J-Lo's thoughts on the Sean Tucker situation. I want to talk about her punting situation too. But J-Lo, thoughts on Sean Tucker and his role moving forward here on the Buccaneers?
Well, like Gene said, I mean, when you're up, on a team, you need to run the ball down their throats and just tire the defense down even more, and you take less pressure off Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker Mayfield got injured during the game, and we all thought, oh, shit, this is not good. I mean, but then he got back in like a warrior, went out there, did his thing. But Sean Tucker, back to him, the guy can help carry the load, and that way you don't freaking torture Bucky Irving.
Damn! Roast fest going on in here. We got Zing flying across the room.
I know I'm speechless right now. But for the most part, but Sean Tucker, I feel like if you get him the ball, a little bit, how kind of, give Bucky Irving a little bit of rest, especially when he makes those big plays, because we cannot afford to lose him this year. I'm not saying he's going to get injured, God forbid, because injuries happen. But utilize your running backs more. Take less pressure off Baker Mayfield.
And you've seen, J-Lo, to your point, you've seen Bucky get banged up a couple times throughout the game last week. He had a back pad on. It looked like he was limping a little bit at times, too. Obviously, he has a foot injury that Bowles says he's going to have to deal with all year. So Gene doesn't like Green Bay. Olive doesn't like Gene. This is getting concerning here in the Coliseum on the Buccateers. Buck, what you heard cross streaming show. Gene, I want to get your thoughts. What is a bigger deal for the Bucs upcoming, and I guess really for the rest of the season, because it's been brought up by Christopher Cole, and then somebody else mentioned the secondary here as well. But between Christopher Cole and the previous comment, Christopher Cole says, thank goodness we'll have a new punter. Obviously, for those unaware, the Bucs waived former punter Trenton Gill. We're now going to be on our third punter, Mr. Browning. The rookie will be in the building. But Gene, bigger deal moving forward for the Bucs. Rookie punter Browning getting his crack at the punting gig, or the Bucs secondary being so banged up we had to bring guys like Kavion Mayweather and Ryan Neal back from a season ago?
I would have to say the secondary. I understand field position, and I realize how important that is. But just where we are right now, you've got to make sure that you're getting those 3 and outs. You're giving your offense more opportunities to get back on the field. And I don't know what it is about Todd Bowles right now. And again, we can revisit this at the end of the season, but hopefully he's making adjustments. He's seeing this is what happened and this is what we can fix. And again, I don't know. I don't know the answer for the defense, how they continue to give up points at inopportune times. Sometimes it has been field position, but for the most part, having a healthy secondary would be like the biggest Christmas present in the world.
Couldn't agree more. And we're right around 3 weeks until Christmas. How crazy is that, man? Time is flying by, man. It's like, geesh. J-Lo, do you agree with Gene that safety position is more important, the revolving door with the Ryan Neal and Kavion Mayweather re-signings, or would you argue that, hey, us being on our third punter is an eyebrow raiser?
It's a tough one because I feel like both of them are a big issue, but I got to go with Gene on the DB room. I just feel like we just keep getting bad luck and injuries. Now we got Mr. Ryan Neal back in the building, on the practice squad, which I'm not too thrilled about, but we can discuss that later. But it just sucks because, we got to get off the field. The defense got to get off the field. I feel like they're our weakest link right now on defense right now, pretty much, is the secondary. We can't get a stop. We can't get turnovers, which puts more pressure on the offense. I think if our defense was a little bit better this year than they are now, I think we would have a couple more wins in our win column. But, we just got to go with what we have, right?
And again, I know we talk about it weekly here, but I defense, yes, injuries one thing, but front half of the schedule is absolutely loaded. We did not have an easy opponent that damn near the whole first half of the schedule. So I think that's a big deal too, right? You sub out one of the Falcons game and the 49ers game, and you insert Panthers and Giants in the front half. The record looks a lot more appealing, yada, yada, yada. But totally different story. I totally feel like it's a sequel to last season. Speaking of sequel, we got a Super Bowl rematch on our hands. Raiders Bucs from way back in the day. I still call them the Oakland Raiders. I know they're in the money-hungry capital of the world right now in Las Vegas, but they're still Oakland to me. So to me, it's a sequel. Gene, if you had to pick one guy on this Raiders team, they're really built uniquely nowadays with Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, and their running back is, pretty much a revolving door at this point. You never know who the hell is it going to be. The rookie, undrafted free agent McCormick getting the crack at thing. Is it going to be Amir Abdullah? Is it going to be Zamir White if he's healthy? And then wide receiver, they got Jacoby Myers and the likes. Brock Bowers is obviously a monster. Defense, they have a couple names. Same with coaching. Between coaching and players, Gene, who's one Raider you highlight and go, the Bucs got to be doing their homework on this guy?
Crosby.
Yep.
The guy's a beast. He's just a freak of nature, and he reminds me of who is the defensive lineman in first game against Detroit that was shredding. Why am I drawing a blank? Detroit game, first game of the year. He got like 500 sacks. Yeah, Hutchinson. That's in my mind. That's what I'm thinking. That this guy, he just wrecks shop. So he's definitely somebody you got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and he one of the best players in the league, right? Flat out on defense, 100%. Especially. But could you imagine if Jones never went cuckoo off his rocker? If they had Crosby and Jones on that, like how they envisioned it, man, that would have been
That would have been crazy.
That would have been the best pass rushing duo maybe of NFL history, but we'll never get to see it now, sadly. I hope Jones is doing okay. I haven't really checked up on him of late, but big loss for the Raiders. That was like when we lost Antonio Brown out at thin air sometimes.
Oh, the quitter, yeah.
Gene's favorite. So for those of you wanted to get Gene Christmas gifts before we get to J-Lo, let me give you guys Gene's wish list. Antonio Brown merchandise, Florida State merchandise,
Dallas Cowboys.
Yup, Duke basketball merch. He's a big Duke basketball guy. Dallas Cowboys.
Kirk Cousins jersey.
His favorite team of all is the Atlanta Falcons. So
Kirk Cousins jersey.
If any of you are looking for Christmas,
that would be so brutal.
Hey, all right, cancel that shipment. Cancel that nothing to see here. Don't worry, I don't have a package made already. J-Lo, Gene says Brock Bowers. My opinion, Gene says Max Crosby. My opinion says Brock Bowers. Christopher Cole says Crosby and Bowers. Are you going with the hot names here, or with your newly lovely Christmas background? Are you slaying in a different direction?
I gotta say Brock Bowers, man. I love that kid out of Georgia, even though I'm a Gator fan, but that dude is just a complete tight end. I think he's gonna be one of the next big tight end name after Kelsey throws his cleats and when he's ready to retire. Brock Bowers, I feel, is going to be a huge problem. I think he's, especially with our safeties being down, and then KJ Britt couldn't even cover a cold, but he's not probably going to even play either. So now we got JJ Russell, who can't cover a cold either. So Brock Bowers, to me, is what I fear the most on defense. Because to me, our defense is the weakest link right now on the team, and they got to be able to contain and shut down Brock Bowers. If not, it's going to be a long day.
We have
one thing I do want to say, J-Lo, congratulations to the Gators for doing God's work and getting rid of those scumbag Florida State crybabies. And I wish they would have planted the flag.
Yeah, well, nowadays, I guess it's a damn crime to plant the flag. I'm just going to go ahead and play
Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
yeah. I love Baker's reply to the flag planting. He pretty much called it weak if you're against it. So I'm going to go ahead and name somebody else here because you guys already took the two obvious ones. And then we'll get Katz's take on the game. Jacoby Myers is a very underrated wide receiver, in my opinion, in the NFL. If you look at between the Patriots and the Raiders, he really has never had a really competent quarter. I mean, he had 1 year with Tom Brady, but after Tom Brady, Jacoby Myers has had the likes of who the hell knows at a revolving door of quarterback. Cam Newton, Bailey Zapp, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell. And the guy still gets around 1,000 yards every year and still puts up a handful of touchdowns too. So I'm going to say the Bucs cannot sleep on Jacoby Myers. But yeah, Brock Bowers, Max Crosby, the two obvious ones. As Steve Redfish joins us. Cats, how the hell you doing, brother? Glad you could join us. Thoughts on Bucs Raiders, and if anyone even concerns you on the Raiders?
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback. I mean, quarterbacks seem to do well against us, don't they?
Yep.
Unfortunately. Not familiar with him that much. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not go to Illinois, or where did he go? I don't remember now.
Who, Aiden O'Connell? He went to Purdue.
Oh, all right. I was a state off then.
Yeah, you're in the Big Ten. You're all good.
Yeah. I mean, well, this is, to me, I think of a guy like Aiden O'Connell, who's a 4th-round pick last year. He's a prime example why when people talk about tanking, you're not tanking. He's trying to play for a job next year, this guy, obviously. He wants to be the starting quarterback for the Raiders in 2025 and beyond, even though they're going to pick in the top, probably the top 5. So he worries me, obviously. I'd like to see us be able to actually, apply some pressure on the quarterback and make life difficult on him. So that would be my concern right there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Katz. And don't worry, I got a question. Where the hell did Gene go? Guys, Gene isn't running away. He has to pick up his missus from the airport. So just because Joey and Katz joined doesn't mean Gene went to play hide and go seek. He has, prior obligations to that. But Katz, I agree with you. And Aiden O'Connell looked very good against a very tough Kansas City defense. Just, Friday. All these days that we have games now confuse me. But Friday, Aiden O'Connell looked competent. And like you said, Katz, he is something meaningful to play for because his career as a starter is, quote unquote, on the line if you look at it. Because you can't tell me Raiders didn't think they picked like 15th or 16th overall this year. You can't tell me they thought they were going to get one of those 6 quarterbacks to fall for them in round 1. But next thing you know, guys like Penix, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, all those names go before they even get a crack at it. The best other quarterbacks weren't first-round material. So to me, the Raiders kind of squibbed it and said, yeah, we'll give Aiden O'Connell one more chance. We'll bring in a guy like Minshew. We'll see what happens. O'Connell, to me, has been the better of the two this year. And to me, the Bucs cannot make Aiden O'Connell like they make some other quote-unquote backup quarterbacks look. Abraham says defense needs Shiloh Sanders, a recent signing of Kavion Mayweather, and Neil gives credence to my statement. Well, to be fair, Abraham, they only had to bring back those guys because all of the bucket list of injuries they have back there. Jordan Whitehead's out. Mike Edwards is out. Some cornerbacks are hurt, so they had to shift other guys around. Again, I know we're going to make some moves back there, but if we were healthy, we wouldn't be bringing the Ryan Neals of the world back. Joey, thoughts so far on our Raiders players to look out for? Gene is Max Crosby, J-Lo Bowers. I have Jacoby Myers, Kat said Aiden O'Connell. We're showing really good diversity here. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, and just to back up to the Bowers point even more, because I wanted my Colts to take him, as our tight end room is more empty than the local Walgreens these days. But Brock Bowers has 884 yards. That's leading all receivers and tight ends and rookies. So you bracket him. Bucs linebackers outside Levante David, I get worried about those guys in coverage. So you just bracket him with safety linebacker, even nickel corner possibly joining that into effect, and then blitz the living crap out of Aiden O'Connell. That guy's not going to move too much. But if I had to look, I know he hasn't had a big season overall, and Tones, you're going to have to remind me of his name, but the defensive end opposite side of Max Crosby had a huge game against Kansas City on last, Friday.
I know. I get the days confused these days, too, because it's like Thursday, Friday, but I believe you're speaking of Adam Butler. Or I mean, Charles Snowden. I'm sorry, Charles Snowden.
Yeah, either way, their defensive line got after it. It's not just Crosby. Yes, he's obviously the main focal point, and they're going to take him out with double teams. But you just mentioned a couple names, and they just got after it. I mean, they didn't really take it easy. Snowden is the guy, and they were able to put some pressure on Mahomes. So, to me, I love the Bowers point. Bracket him, do whatever you can, blitz the crap out of O'Connell, and then just have a good offensive line. Baker's been playing a little sporadic. Let's give him as much time back there as possible. Let's not let these defensive ends fly upfield. Use the run game early to get the pass going.
Let me ask you this. I got to jump in and ask you, though. Don't you think, as far as doubling him, don't you think we should just match up Tristan Wirfs mano-a-mano here?
Hey, if you're putting those two in a UFC ring, let's take Bowers out real early. Then you can
I mean versus Crosby. I mean Tristan Wirfs versus Max Crosby, straight up. No double team, no help.
No, that's so to your point, you know them better than I do. I love Tristan Wirfs. You put him one-on-one, and then you have the freedom to everybody else can handle their coverages. So really, you guys should be able to handle that defensive line, having the stable with Wirfs like you do.
Because their run defense is ranked near the bottom. I looked it up. I think they're 30th, I think, in run defense. So if you run the ball, you neutralize a pass rush, and I think Wirfs can certainly at least hold his own. Max Crosby is a fantastic player. That's no doubt about it. But
if they could use Sean Tucker a little this week, like you said, they rank bottom of the league in run. Let's run the ball with not just Bucky and White. Let's get Tucker involved too. We don't have to pass that much to beat the Raiders.
Right. That's right now because, in the Carolina game, looking at the way the game was going early, the second drive, the Bucs had no problem running it. And I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, because we were just shoving. Bucky wasn't getting contacted until 5 yards downfield, thinking this is going to be a very big day for the offense. Before you knew it, we're taking penalties, motions, pre-snap, holding. All this year in 1st and 20, 2nd and 20, and you're not going to run the ball there. Once the Bucs fell behind 16-10, I said, God, for God's sake, let's try to get back to what we can do and hang our hat on, because clearly it's not been Baker's day. Sure enough, they did get back to running the ball with Bucky Irving. They moved it down the field. They did it on another drive. They couldn't finish that other drive, which still drives me crazy. The second one that could have made it 24-16. They didn't finish that one, but they got back to what they have done well all year, something they hadn't done well in maybe a decade, other than the Super Bowl year. Fournette had a good year. And just go with that, especially when you don't have Chris Godwin anymore. And once they did that, they didn't have any trouble. Once they cut the penalties out, they didn't have any trouble opening running lanes against the Carolina defense, or most defenses they faced, if we're being honest.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more, Cats. And really, what was interesting when you were speaking of Wirfs and who he's going to take down? Could they line up on him? We are joined by MK, Mr. Magic, and a whole bunch. It's a lively chat here on a Hump Day Wednesday, on Sock Day, National Sock Day, on so much more. But Tristan Wirfs lined up on the right side of the line incognito last week. That was a really unique look from Lee and Co. And they did tuck Wirfs in on the right side of the line last week. So you never know what the hell you're going to see out of Liam Cohen. Maybe they will mano him with a guy like Crosby wherever the hell he goes.
I was mixing up their sides. Okay, so then it would be Goodecki against him, who may not be able to handle him, although he's had a great year too.
Well, I think the Raiders, honestly, he has the primary side, Crosby, but I think they play matchups and they go, hey, we see Wirfs over here. We're going to try and flip you.
Yeah.
Kalavon Chase, and I'm sorry, he had 1.5 sacks last week. So we're gonna have to watch out for all these front end type of guys. But
was Donovan Smith playing in that game?
Yeah,
Donovan Smith, the left tackle.
There's still yellow flags on the field from that guy, man.
Yeah,
I love Donnie for
me too.
Win a Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, he couldn't get rid of any of that damn stuff. But we do have our Bucs Bets quick, guys. Cats, we'll start with you here. Pretend these are $10 bets, as we always do. Would you rather bet $10 on the Bucs spread at -6.5 points to win 10? So that means the Bucs have to win by 7. Or would you bet 10 on the Bucs money line to win you $4 for them just to win straight up?
The second one, the money line.
Yeah, going to be a close battle. You're thinking, Joey, you heading with the money line or the spread for your $10?
I think the Bucs had their close scare last week at Carolina. I think this week they get back on it and blow out the Raiders, so I'll take the spread.
J-Lo, spread at -6.5, 10 to win 10, or 10 on the money line to win 4 straight up.
I gotta say spread. I think the Bucs will play a much better game. Won't keep it as close as they did this past game. Give me the spread.
And since it is Wednesday, there's not as many bets out there, so that's why we're going to ask everybody every bet, because when we're closer to game day on a Saturday, and J-Lo and I and others do this, there's a touchdown scores, a yardage guys. Right now, there's none of that out in Vegas, so we're just focusing on the bare bones. Cats, over under 46 total points in this game between the Bucs and Raiders combined. Do you think they get to over or under 46?
Over.
Joey?
Over.
Yeah, I'll go over.
J-Lo, take it home. You sweeping over or under 46 points?
I say over. I think
Bucs.
I think the Bucs put some more points.
J-Lo, you're lagging a little bit, brother. We'll bring you back in here on the next go-around, my friend. Cats, over under 26.5 total points by the Bucs. Do you think the Bucs score 27 or more?
Yes, I do.
Joey, what say you? 26.5 Bucs over under total.
Over.
J-Lo?
Can you hear me?
Yep, over
hear me?
under. Over under 26. Yeah, I think you're a little behind because we're a bit off here in the communication. My opinion, Bucs will win though, but he says they don't cover, and I'm not saying my opinion, I'm saying the YouTube chatter, my opinion, says that. Field goals, over under, longest successful field goal in the game by either Carlson or McLaughlin. Two pretty good kickers here, A-Cats. 47.5 yards, over under, longest field goal, 47.5 yards.
I go over.
Joey, on the contrary, I'm going to give you the shortest field goal being successful in the game. Joey, shortest field goal, over or under 27.5 yards?
Over.
And J-Lo, we're going to end it with you. Bucs or Raiders money line? Who's winning at the end of the first half at halftime? Raiders $10 if they're winning would pay $17.50. Bucs $10 if they're winning would win you $5.
I think the Bucs will be. I think the Bucs at halftime. Give them the Bucs. I think they're going to lead most of the game. I don't think the Raiders will take a lead at all.
And again, it's more minier today with not as many lines out there on our Bucs Bets. So that'll do it for Bucs Bets, as we're joined on Facebook by the Godfather, James Rubright, by Nani Rochelle Grizafi. It's a great day. My opinion says he thinks Raiders would be winning at half, or at least that's where his money would go. MK says Raiders will win. That's a Bucs fan saying that.
It says it in his title. You clearly see what that's a person who doesn't want to make the playoffs. That's a person who wants to go into purgatory and lose a lot of football games. So fire Bulls, that's a bad statement. I'm just saying a Raiders win. Don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of anyone. You want a guy to lose his job, that's one thing, but the guy's made back-to-back playoffs, won a playoff game. Let the year play out. Again, we say it enough on this pod. We had all our tough, hard games, front-loaded. So the Godfather says, what's up, men? I agree with you there, Joey. Bucs fans got to relax a little bit, pump the brakes on the Bulls hate, and go from there. It's score prediction and MVP prediction time. Bucs score prediction and Bucs player of the game prediction. J-Lo, we'll start with you here. What's your score and who's your player of the game?
Give me Bucs 34, Raiders 14. I think the Bucs are gonna just dominate, pretty much most of the game, get a good head start on a lead, and then just finish them. MVP, give me Baker Mayfield. I think he'll be back on track, and he's just gonna pick apart the Raiders defense.
I'm sorry, who? Baker, you said? I was laughing at my guy Narav's comment. Narav says Bulls also playing with UPS drivers on defense due to injuries. It's like, that is very true. People forget Kalijah Cansey missed a big chunk of the season. Vita Vea missed a couple games We're down to our 4th-string middle linebacker. Jamel Dean missed a ton of the year. Winfield missed games. Whitehead's missing a lot of games. Edwards missed games. Injuries go on and on this defense. Cats, if you don't have a score, that's fine. But if you do, lay it on us. And who do you like as Bucs player of the game?
Bucs 31. Bucs win 31-24. Bucky Irving for me.
Bucky. Pop says we got to contain Bowers and we will win 31-23 Bucs. He goes with Bucky as well, Cat. So you guys are both
Close.
Bucky. And Pop says Rashad White. Yeah, you guys are 31-24, 31-23.
Great minds think alike.
You say Bucky. He says Bucky. And for those of you that missed it, I'm going to link it later as well. But our great friend and great podcast partner, Mr. A-Cats, had a great call with WDAE a couple weeks back that we'd love for you guys to listen. And the story of it was played on our pod last week. So for those that missed it, we're going to link that after the show. But Mr. Katz, that was funny. You'll have to explain that at the end of the show once again. Shooter in the stats says, why is everyone worried about the best running back is? You need them all. Exactly. You need them all. Sean Tucker, Bucky Irvin, Rashad White. We welcome all with open arms. Joey, who's your MVP for this game, and what's your score prediction, brother?
Yeah, I mean, hard to go against Bucky, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. You guys probably mentioned earlier, and then Tones. I just saw we got a red out this weekend for when we're there as well. So that's awesome stuff.
It'll be like the Saints game. I know that was a night game, but we were there for the Saints game. That was a red out too, if you remember, on Monday Night Football.
I was at that. We lost, but I was at that game too.
Well, no, they had 2 red outs against the Saints. So the Sunday night,
you're right.
The Sunday night
right.
one was the loss, and I think we got absolutely ass kicked that game. Is that the one?
I was at a 9-0 game. I was at the 9-0 game.
The 9-0 game where we couldn't get scoring at all. At all. Couldn't move the damn ball, man. It was like, what the hell are we doing out there? But, you know, that's hopefully in the past now. Joey, we do have a red out, though, but
I'll go 28-20 Tampa Bay, and my player of the game will be, you know what? I'm going to go with the other running back on this one, Rashad White. He works hard. I want him to get some love, so let's go Rashad White.
yeah, Pop says he thinks Bucs will get at least 175 rush yards. Jonas goes, where'd Gene go? Hey, all I can say is happy wife, happy life, my friend. You can figure out the rest. But no, I'm just messing. He'll be back.
And what a good guy Bucky is. He in a quote, like I always say, shout out to the guys up front. I think they need to get more recognition. That's the guy you want in your locker room, not taking credit himself, giving it to the guys up front. Hopefully he gets them some good Christmas gifts.
Yeah, he's not a me
or
guy.
whatever holiday they celebrate.
Well, hopefully a guy like Wirfs could get Bucky something nice too, because a 4th-round pick salary opposed to highest paid player in Bucs history. But no, I'm kidding. Bucky will take care. Hey, take him to Charlie's Steakhouse.
There you go.
What's up? Jonas says it's going to look like Super Bowl, the rematch out there. I agree. I think Bucs are going to win. I think it'll be a little closer than people think, but I still think we win decently. I think 30-20 with my guy, Kalijah Cansey, is the player of the game. He's looked incredible the past couple weeks. He's coming on like a wild bull out there, like a wrecking ball. MH asks how Bucky hip injury looking. Not too shabby. Bucky's going to be a banged up guy throughout the entirety of the season. I think he'll recover, and he's going to play every game unless, it's knock on wood, hopefully not a significant injury. You're going to have to drag Bucky's ass off the field. He already proved that to this point. Speaking of proving that, Joey, before we get to the Colts and what they're proving, I will say the Bucs injury report real quick heading into Thursday. Today's injury report was as followed. KJ Britt did not practice with an ankle. Mike Edwards did not practice with the hamstring. Mike Evans did not practice with the hamstring and calf. Troy Hill didn't practice with the foot knee. I'm sorry, he did, but in limited capacity. Bucky Irvin didn't practice, but he'll be fine. We've seen this before out of him. Anthony Nelson did not practice with the shoulder, but I'm not worried about him. He was a hero of the week last week, and he welcomed a newborn into the world. Tyke Smith and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka were limited. Marquise Watts is full, and Werfs did not practice. And on the Raiders side, Nate Hobbs and Zamir White did not practice.
Did you say Tyke Smith was limited? Because that's a good sign that he's back on the field. We really miss him back there. He was so he didn't not practice. He was actually practicing just limited. So that's a potential great sign. Because this guy, I'll tell you what, this guy's had a heck of a rookie year. He's been a playmaker. We've seen him block field goals, create turnovers. We haven't had an interception in 6 weeks, by the way. Just a depressing stat, but it is what it is. It would be really big to get Tyke Smith back at this point. I mean, he's been out since I don't remember how long. It's interrupted a heck of a rookie year. That is the type of thing that you could see really make a difference on this defense.
You're really right. Before we get Joey's Colts current standings, J-Lo, 30 seconds or less, because I know you agree with Katz on the Tyke Smith trade.
Yeah, I agree. Tyke Smith, I think he's the missing piece right now to help our defense, get stops on third down or turn over the ball. He's a ball hawk. He just had an unfortunate injury with his knee the last few weeks. So getting him back will help our DB room a lot. And then you can utilize Christian Izien more at safety, utilize him more. I just don't want to see Ryan Neal on the field. So Tyke Smith, plug him in, get him back. And now we're going to be seeing some interesting packages.
And he might just be a practice squad body, Ryan Neal, because we do have KV on Merriweather again as well. So if Tyke Smith plays, you're really not going to see him because you'll have Winfield and Tyke, then you'll cave on, and then worst come to worst, Ryan Neal would be like the emergency. But, I don't think at least he's familiar with the system, I guess. Speaking of familiar, Joey, Colts are in a familiar spot as the Bucs. They're crawling, they're fighting, they're battling for the playoffs right now. They're in a frisky spot. Give us the state of the Indianapolis Colts heading into the Week 14 bye week. They get the last week of byes in the NFL season.
Well, all I'm saying is for the haters who don't have patience, Anthony Richardson has arrived on the scene. If you look at last week, it was the first time in over 24 years that a team has gone on a 19-play drive and gone for 2 and got it to win the game. That was led by Anthony Richardson. They had 3 fourth downs converted. I know it was against New England. I'm not going to sit here and say New England's a good team or even mediocre because I'd be lying. But 2 out of the last 3 weeks now, this man who people put off to the side, they said he should be out of football. They said he's not playing the right position. They said he's done with Indianapolis. He's led 2 game-winning drives in the last 3 weeks. Between that, we had Detroit. You could throw that one out the window as Detroit is Detroit. But this guy is coming along. Shane Steichen, finally, you know what they're saying? Hey, we're not going to try to make you a pocket passer right now. We're going to let you do you. They do the sweep runs with them. They have some options with Jonathan Taylor. Everything rolls off of the RPO game. Keep that going and let this guy show, because I'll tell you what, if he could finish this season healthy, we're going to see a lot of amazing highlights from this guy. I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs or not. We have to beat Denver in Denver, which I'm not fully afraid of. And anytime I could say fuck Sean Payton, I will. So that I want to add into there as well. But I'm just so happy to see Richardson doing it, because I know it's a week to week, but people don't have freaking patience anymore. And my guy is a dog, and he's going to continue to do that. Shout out Gators, J-Lo.
J-Lo, quick thoughts, Richardson being a Gator guy, then we're going to get to college football championship week after your and Kat's thoughts.
I mean, he's learning as he goes. Let's not forget, he's very young. He's like, what, 22, 23?
Youngest quarterback in the football.
He's still learning the game, learning the pro league. I think once you get that, once he gets that system going, stays healthy, he can be a dynamic quarterback and win you football games. But like Joey said, the coaches let him play his way, what he's good at, and then they can work on the pocket presence in the offseason when that time comes. In the meantime, play with his traits, go win football games, make the playoffs, and that's a start.
Our guy Neil is back. Yes, sir. He always says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our guy Neil L., great to have you, brother. We love having you. Been a while, so glad you're back. What do the people do, Neil? Hit the like button, subscribe, turn that notification bell on, right, my friend? So, yeah, and I agree on the tap out. Who knows what the hell really happened. But, Cats, quick thoughts on Mr. Anthony Richardson, if you have any at all.
Well, yeah, I think, you have to be patient with a young quarterback. He missed quite a bit of time with injury last year, if I'm not mistaken, or at least significant enough time
Played
to where,
4 games.
4 games. Well, that's enough to disrupt a rookie campaign. And, you want to say you have 17 games under your belt. You don't. So you lost a quarter of a season there. That was impressive, that drive. I mean, look, the Pats, it's still a road game. It's still a rivalry to me, because they played in the same division. They met in the playoffs all those times. To go on the road, lead a game-winning drive, and take the 2-point conversion in yourself, I thought that was a heady play. I thought that was a good call to go for 2, and he executed it. So good on him. I think it'll help his confidence quite a bit going forward.
And a little fun fact, he just eclipsed games played than at Florida. So that's how little he played at Florida. He's only played like 13 NFL games or whatever. He just eclipsed his Florida total.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, so JC Allen says, sup, fellas. Neil says, hit that like button. Absolutely, my friend. But I agree with the synopsis you all spread out, so I'm not going to spend too much time on Richardson, but I'm a big fan of his, and I think his ceiling is sky high. You don't build a quarterback overnight. Ask Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills that. Not that he struggled as immensely as Richardson did at times passing, but Josh Allen's completion percentage his last year at Wyoming and his first year in Buffalo wasn't anything to write home about. He still runs a good amount, but he's balanced his game out ever so more the past couple of years. And to me, maybe not as good necessarily, but Richardson will be a good football player and will be a Josh Allen type of quarterback moving forward. The ceiling is the limit. The sky is, I'm sorry, not the ceiling. The sky is the limit for Anthony Richardson and his potential in Indianapolis. But they keep their season alive. That'll be interesting. Them Broncos, Bucs, Chargers at the same time. Oh my, that'll feel like a playoff week. Speaking of playoff week, college football playoffs are damn near here. So this week is going to be a huge one in the world of college football. Remember, today's kind of like a Saturday show, as we're not going to be live Saturday. Joey and I will be in Tampa going to Bucs Raiders this weekend. Cats or J-Lo, if either of y'all want to meet up, we will make that happen. But we'll be in the Tampa area this weekend, and a lot of good college football to be had. College football, spread 'em time. Spread them if you got them in the world of college football. As the great El Monito Fabricio is joining us live on Facebook as well. But J-Lo, we're going to start with you here. Friday night, December 6th, my friend, Conference USA Championship. Former Michigan head coach and Rich Rodriguez is minus 4.5-point favorites. Jacksonville State taking on Western Kentucky. Jacksonville State minus 4.5. That game, 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network Friday night.
Give me Jacksonville State winning their conference championship.
I like that pick. Can never go wrong with a little bit of Rich Rodriguez in your life. Joey, we're going to you next. 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC. You got 9-3 Green Wave of Tulane travel to 24th ranked 10-1 Army, with Tulane being a minus 5-point favorite for the American Athletic Championship.
I love our, dedicated, Army Academy out there, but I saw them play my Irish, and let me tell you what, they can't move that ball very well against good teams. Give me Tulane, I'll give up the points.
Mr. Katz, this is a playoff game for college football because the winner is quote-unquote likely to get in. You have 20th ranked UNLV taking on 10th ranked Boise State. Boise State has the best running back in the country by far, and Heisman hopeful Kajan Gentry. This kid's incredible. But Cats, Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox, Mountain West Championship. Who you got? UNLV, Boise State.
Is that being played in Boise?
I think that one's at a mutual field location.
Too bad. I like that blue field. They are the team with the blue field. Am I mistaken? Yeah.
You're right.
I'm right. Okay. Well, that said, I'm still going to take Boise State, even without the blue field.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Boise State.
It says it's at Albertson Stadium, Boise, Idaho.
Oh, okay. So that is, I know Conference USA and I know American Athletics. So all of Friday nights must be at
all
their
of
home.
Friday nights are in the home teams. Yep.
Interesting. As we evolve in the world of college football, I
So
guess
Cat gets his blue field wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully with some snow. Not that I like being in snow, but seeing it on TV is fun. Yeah, give me that blue field with some snow. That's what I like to see.
That's some football stuff right there. I love as Barstool says, Katz is a football guy. I'm in all agreement with Katz. As
Oh,
John Gruden says, football guy, Katz.
right.
Saturday, December 7th, noon Eastern on ABC, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. 16 Iowa State at 15 ranked Arizona State. Well, not at. That game's at a mutual field. That game is at, let me see here.
Arlington, Texas, Cowboys.
AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Give me Arizona State there. I've been wrong by Iowa State too much this year. I like Rocco Beck, but he's backfired on me quite a bit this year. Give me them. Again, this game is at noon Eastern as well on ESPN, one of my favorites. The MAC Championship, I know this one by heart, takes place in Detroit. J-Lo, Ohio at Miami of Ohio. Well, not at, but Ohio versus Miami of Ohio in Detroit for the MAC Championship.
Give me Miami, Ohio. I think they take the championship.
I like that. Joey, SEC Championship, 4 o'clock Eastern on ABC. This one's in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 5th-ranked Georgia at 2nd-ranked Texas.
Yeah, what a crock of shit, Georgia based. I know they split the tickets, don't get me wrong. I know how that works, but pretty much a home field advantage for Georgia. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. I'm not a huge fan of them, but anytime the Bulldogs are getting points, give me them.
Jonas says, go Army in all caps, and he's driving through a blizzard right now. Stay safe out there, brother. Maybe you're in Idaho and Katz gets his wish. Mr. Katz, 7:30 Eastern, the Fun Belt, I call it, but the Sun Belt Championship. Marshall against Louisiana. This game is at Cajun Field, so Louisiana is home in this game. Louisiana at home against Marshall for the Sun Belt Championship. 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Saturday night.
I like Louisiana. Yes.
The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah.
J-Lo, before we all get to Penn State, Oregon, give us Clemson, SMU, ACC Championship, 8 o'clock Eastern, ABC. 17th ranked Clemson, 8th ranked SMU. This is a Bank of America Stadium neutral site.
Oof, tough one. But let me tell you something. SMU has been very underrated this year. No one's talking about them. No one's watching their games. And FCU will not only win, they're going to win big against Clemson.
Their only loss was on a quirky Friday night against BYU.
Exactly, and plus SMU, I feel they're one of my wild card teams to go far in the playoffs. May not win the whole thing, but I think they're going to surprise a bunch of good big time programs in the playoffs. So give me SMU win their first ACC conference championship in their first year. So hats off to SMU and their program. Hats off.
The great Jason Roach is joining on Facebook. Just kidding, Jonas. I know, brother, but maybe Katz gets his wish. We're going to do Around the Horn to end it with the Big Ten Championship in a very familiar place. This game is in Indianapolis, in Colts Stadium, Lucas Oil Stadium. Katz, lead us off here. My Penn State Nittany Lions, who would have ever thought they would have been in the Big Ten Championship after losing to Ohio State? But here we are. They're taking on the best team in the country, Oregon. Number 3 ranked Penn State and number 1 ranked Oregon in Indianapolis, Mr. A-Katz. Who do you got in this battle of the behemoths?
What the heck? Give me Penn State, man. Let's go.
We are. Let's
That's right.
go. That gives me faith when Katz says that. That game's on CBS Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Joey, you in agreement with Katz?
Well, let me say this, Ryan Day, screw you and your team. You took it up on Indiana the week before to get to 50 plus or whatever you did. You cried about it last week. I'm so happy you're not in this game. I'm betting with my heart here. I probably wouldn't. Give me Penn State and give me the money line.
Could James Franklin finally win a big damn game? J-Lo, what say you? As Jonas says, we are Penn State.
This is where the cookie crumbles. To me, Oregon is one of the very best teams in the country. But as far as that game goes Saturday night, give me Penn State. Give me James Franklin, Coach Franklin, to finally win a big game and win a big-time conference championship and get into the playoffs and compete. Penn State, let's go.
He needs it, man. I mean, this is a guy who needs a big game on his resume, and I know the playoffs are lurking and a little more important, but this game, you get the number 1 seed in the whole dance if you beat Oregon, if you're Penn State. So you get a bye week, you get the whole shebang. This game means a lot.
This might be the only show that clean sweeps Penn State over Oregon, and I freaking love it.
Hey, we're probably the only show who's clean sweeped Florida the past few weeks, and look at how we've turned out. A bunch of winners. You know, we're brothers. We got each other's backs, and that's what brothers do best. So, Cats, J-Lo, Joey, and Tones taking you home here from college football to NFL talk. Let's get right into it, guys. Our NFL Red Eyes Pick'em time. We're in the honor of the great late Kenton Rubright, great fan of the shows, family of the shows, friend of the shows. We honor our Pick'em by doing Red Eyes Pick'em. And we're going to lead off here. I think, J-Lo, I think you were the last one to go in college football before we did the Penn State thing. Am I right?
Yes.
So, Joey, you'll lead us off with NFL Pick'em, brother. Thursday night, Packers-Lions, 8:15 Eastern, Amazon Prime. Who you going with, Joey?
Choose wisely.
Man, this is... yeah, when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Thank you very much, Jayla. But no, in real talk, this is, I mean, Al Michaels can't cry about this game. He's getting a primetime matchup between two really good teams. The last time I remember them playing on a Thursday night, I think Aaron Rodgers was throwing a Hail Mary. That being said, give me Detroit and Dan Campbell.
A-Cats, Jets, Dolphins in this battle in Miami, 1 o'clock Eastern Sunday.
Give me Miami in this. Dolphins have quietly kind of hung around here, and the Jets are, the Jets are the Jets.
Falcons, Vikings, 1 o'clock Eastern Sunday. Give me the Vikings. I think the Falcons continue their skid in Minnesota, especially. Minnesota had a hell of a comeback on Arizona last week, and they're playing some really good football and not getting talked about a whole lot. Sam Darnold making a career for himself, much like Baker Mayfield did last season. Sam Darnold is doing this season. Give me Minnesota all the way. J-Lo, you get the game of the day on Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Jags at Titans. Jacksonville to Tennessee. Game of the day, Mr. J-Lo.
Really? I think give me the Titans. I think the Jaguars are just one of the worst teams in football. Titans are probably the second to third worst team in football. So give me the Titans at home.
Joey, you get another really good game here. New Orleans at New York, 1 o'clock Eastern. That's the Giants, that is.
Holy shit. Wow. You know what? Giants haven't won in a while. They're due. Fuck it.
It doesn't get much better with Cats as the Panthers traveling to Philadelphia, 1 o'clock Eastern.
Well, the Eagles here, unfortunately. So I'd like to see them drop a game, but they'll take the Eagles to win this one.
Not a great Sunday slate thus far, but we're getting a little better here as we get famous Jameis at Pittsburgh, 1 o'clock Eastern. Give me the Steelers. You know, Jameis is one of those up and down guys, but I've seen way too many bad passes from him on Monday night to endorse him this Sunday. J-Lo, you're kicking us off on the 4 o'clock slate, 4:05 Eastern. Potentially the game of the day. Seattle at Arizona.
Oof, tough one. I gotta say Arizona. I think Arizona will win big at home, rebound from last week's comeback loss to the Vikings.
Christopher Cole says he's afraid Cousins has a huge day against his old team. Cousins hasn't been, outside of the 2 Bucs games this year, Cousins has been pretty damn terrible. Jonas says he predicted that. You are the man for predicting that, Mr. Jonas. Joey, 4:25 Eastern Sunday. The Bears take on the running back list 49ers of San Fran.
And first off, let me say, I hate the Falcons, but benching Cousins would be crazy in a playoff stretch when you have a rookie behind it. I just think that's idiocracy for some of that I've seen on social media. But give me, it's Chicago. When you fire a coach, they had a few extra days off. San Fran's still sniffling from the snow day. Give me Chicago.
A-Cats, you got a pretty good one here. Buffalo travels to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. That game's at 4:25 Eastern.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. The Rams, that was a tough one for them against the Saints. They did pull it out, but I like Buffalo here.
J-Lo, you get a friendly rivalry on Sunday. I've been waiting all day for Chargers Chiefs. 8:20 Eastern Sunday night on NBC.
I say Chargers will win this game and not let the Chiefs win by these bullshit fucking close games. It's going to be Justin Herbert time. Chargers over the Chiefs.
Joey, take us home with Monday Night Football with the Simpsons game. Remember, they're ESPN doing a special coverage. If you're a Simpsons fan, they're going to have animation with the Simpsons. One team is controlled by Homer, one team by Bart. So it's going to be pretty crazy out there. Calabunga, dude. Bengals at Cowboys, Joey. 8:15 Eastern in the Simpsons Bowl on Monday night.
I'm convinced the only reason they kept this game besides Dallas, obviously, is because of the Simpsons Bowl, because this might actually get a lot of people to turn over with this crap fest they put on Monday night. Give me Cincinnati, because Joe Burrow, I looked up a stat today. He has like the best stats ever for being this bad of a record team-wise, so I'm taking Cincinnati.
And that'll do it for our Red Eyes NFL Pick'em. And speaking of do it, we are here for a little bit longer. A couple more subjects left, including Final Word and Breadwinners and Fantasy Report. But real quick, we're not going to be here on Saturday because we'll be in Tampa. So our next show, unless Gene and them do a impromptu one, which is always great to hear, but our next scheduled planned show will be Tuesday night around 6:15 p.m. Eastern time here on the Buccateers. So if we're not live Saturday, don't be concerned. We'll be on Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday with the holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever the hell you want to call it, giveaway announcement. We're in the process of making stuff. We have a ton of stuff. So just like last year, if you remember, we did our 12 days of Bucksmiths last year on Twitter, on Instagram, all that fun stuff. We gave away a ton of prizes. Mike Elstott Ring of Honor coins, Buccaneers koozies, Buccaneers flags, Buccateers Hanukkah shirts, Buccateers Christmas shirts. We're going to be doing the same this year and giving away a hell of a lot more. Details to come, but 12 Days of Bucksmith starts next week. Follow us on Twitter, X, at Buccateers, and on Instagram, at Buccateers POD to get the latest and greatest for the giveaways. Guys, real quick, last week of fantasy football regular season for most, so we're going to do our fantasy mash report. Pick 'em. Those out there need help, especially during the bye weeks, and we're here to give that help. Cats, would you rather start Jordan Love at Detroit or Sam Darnold against the Falcons?
Sam Darnold versus the Falcons.
And according to projections, your heart is in the right place. Look at Jonas. Look at him, all ecstatic for Bucksmiths. We love that. We love that. Jonas, I hope you win something because we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. So Cats goes with Darnold over Love. ESPN projections say, Cats, you are picking in the right frame of mind. Joey, Rico Dowdle, pick two out of these three. Rico Dowdle against the Bengals. Gus Edwards at the Chiefs. Reminder, he's the new lead back in L.A. Or Tony Pollard against the Jaguars. 2 out of 3. Pollard, Dowdle, Edwards.
Give me Dowdle and Pollard just because of who they play more versus what they do themselves. But Edwards will be at the Chiefs. They got a pretty good run D.
J-Lo, you're going to get the wide receiver position. Pick 2 out of these 3 for me, my man. Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, Xavier Worthy, and Khalil Shakir. 2 out of those 4. Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir, Xavier Worthy.
I say Worthy and Shakir. I'll go with those 2. I don't think Myers is going to get a lot of catches on Zion McCollum on Sunday, so count him out.
I like that. Then I'll take us home in the tight end spot. Travis Kelce against the Chargers or K. Dotton against the Raiders. Give me Travis Kelce, he's been playing some really good football, and Cade Otton, since Mike Evans has been back, hasn't been the same, as my opinion says Pollard and Rico Dowdle, and then Myers and Cooper. Guys, it's time for our final word and locks of the program already. We did have a little bit of a rough stretch for our last round of breadwinners. We went 0-4, but we're still very, very positive on the year. And by positive, I mean we're 32-25, so we're 7 games up on the season, plus $106 on the season. So once again, breadwinners could be any sport, just any bet, pretty much your lock of the week from now until Monday Night Football, since we won't be back until Tuesday. Cats, even if it's not in betting terms, who is your lock, quote unquote, in the world of sports? Could be hockey, football, whatever the hell you want between now and Monday. Who is your lock, Mr. Katz? And what's your final word, brother?
Well, I'm just thinking about the NFL slate here. The one that to me is a lot. Philadelphia over Carolina is a lock to me. But my final word is, Bucs fans, it was not easy, but they got the win. Now they're 6-6, and they're in prime position here. Things are, obviously you got to play the games, but to retake first place this week, or at least to keep pace. And I believe they will do that. I believe they'll run the ball extremely well against the Raiders and be able to control the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be the most important thing in this game. And I look for the Bucs to come out with a win. It'll be 7-6. Who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Just like last year. So Katz has Eagles money line as his bet of the day, and Katz, I agree with you. It feels like last year all over again. Remember when we were 4-7 sitting there and wondering what the hell is gonna happen? So never know, never say never. We're right in this thing, and Katz is riding with the Eagles. Joey, final word and breadwinner for you, my friend.
I hope I don't take J-Lo's here, but I'm taking SMU all day, giving up the points. I think they're going to win big in their conference championship against Clemson. I do like what he was saying on them earlier, and I just can't wait to be in Tampa. It's cold here. People are sick everywhere. I'm ready to get to the nice weather, see some fun things, and just have a good time in one of the places I love most, Tampa, Florida.
People are either sick or look sick, whatever the hell the case might be. Either one or the other.
Who are you talking to? I'll come right over there.
Before we get, your roommate looks like a ghost saw him sometimes. Damn. Before we get to Katz's last brief description and rundown of his replay of the phone call, J-Lo and I got breadwinners. J-Lo, breadwinner me, and final word me, brother.
No, that was a good pick by Joey, but I'm going to go with Iowa State. Give me Iowa State winning on +2. I think they'll win by a touchdown or maybe even by 10 points. So give me Iowa State with the Big 12. Chip should win. Go Cyclones.
Well, look at J-Lo becoming a side. We'll tell his Gators that he's put them down. He's put them to the side. We'll tell him he's just,
Hey, by the way, it's National Signing Day, and the Gators are almost in the top 10 in recruiting. So thank you, sir. Go Gators. We got some good recruits. We're on the mend to winning football games again.
My final word is this. Coach Anthony Gator is a hot name on the market. I broke the news the other night. First time ever on Twitter I broke news. It was kind of fun. Had the likes of T.Y. Hilton and Stedman Bailey, former Rams receiver, and Darius Butler and James Canada showing me love. But Coach Anthony Gator, defensive backs, cornerbacks coach to be exact, at FIU, is open to other coaching work at the NFL or college level. So my final word is this. If you're a team out there in need of a defensive-minded guy, go hire Anthony Gator. He led Florida International to the 17th best-ranked pass defense in the country in college football last year. That's out of like 148 teams. They were 17th ranked best at Florida International, and they're having recruits leave the door like crazy ever since their coaching shakeup got announced. So final word is go get Coach Gator. He is a really, really great coach to have. You won't regret it there. My lock, I'm between two things here, between college football and NFL world. My breadwinner, Man, I hate to do this, but you know what? I was gonna pick. I can't pick against J-Lo. I was gonna pick against J-Lo because mine was Arizona State, my breadwinner. But I'm not gonna be that guy. I'll shake it up for the sake of the pod. It's like J-Lo throwing a wrench at me. Give me the Buccaneers, and I'm gonna double down. Give me the Bucs and Eagles money line parlay. 20 would pay 12. Give me Bucs Eagles money line parlay for my breadwinner. The Godfather says, sorry, Joey, but do you have your shoes off? Your screen
Yes,
is
I do.
a little foggy. So once
Slippers.
again,
I'm a slippers guy.
we're doubling down on the Eagles. Cat's breadwinner is Eagles money line. Joey's is SMU spread. J-Lo Iowa State spread. Mine Bucs and Eagles money line. Cats, before we head out, take us home. Give us a brief 2-minute recap on where people could find your crazy YouTube extravaganza.
Oh, it was Rays Fan Gio's YouTube account. That's where he posted it on YouTube. My call to WDAE discussing my obnoxious. My phone call to County Commissioner Chris Latvala, who is not in favor of ratifying the bonds. He delayed the vote, which puts new commissioners in. That's to make it very tough on the Rays. And he seems like he's just a doofus, so a bunch of us called him, left nasty messages. Mine was a little bit nastier, and therefore I called WDAE because they wanted to hear about it, and yeah, so that's on YouTube.
And if you haven't heard it or seen it from somebody who doesn't really have an allegiance to the Rays, it is beautifully put out there, and I enjoyed every second of it. So go give it a listen. But in all reality, it encompasses the heart and soul of a true fan, because we need more people like that speaking up.
That's why we love Cats, and that's not the only reason, but one of the big reasons why is an important part of the show is Tampa fandom. Lightning, Rays, Bucks. You won't find a man that goes toe-to-toe harder for the city sports of the Bay Area. But with that being said, Cats, thank you for providing that again, brother. J-Lo, Joey,
Did you say toe-to-toe?
Oh, boy, we're getting weird now. We got feet showing on the screen. This is getting out of control. God bless, go Bucks, fire the damn cannons. Until Tuesday, most likely, we'll be back next time. Cats, J-Lo, be safe, brothers.
Take care.
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. These Bucks.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.